Your Honor, I don't want to wait for my lawyer. I don't need him.
You're waiving representation?
I know my rights, and...
Ms. Reed, you're in the midst of psychiatric counseling. I'm not sure this is wise.
Holly Reed, being of sound mind, waive my rights to counsel. I want to handle this on my own.
Holly, please, wait for Ross.
No, I want to deal with my crimes myself. I'm the one who caused all the pain in the first place.
That's not true, Your Honor. If anybody's responsible for all of this, it's me.
Your Honor, I'm sorry that we were late, but I did leave word with your office a little earlier.
And what word was that, Mr. Warner?
That I was bringing this witness forward along with Reva Shane and Harley Cooper Spaulding.
I told you not to give up hope.
You found him?
No, Ross. It was Ross.
Yes, your brother came to me. We agreed that this was the one thing that might turn you around.
Hiya, Red.
Fletcher.
I had to come. I couldn't stay away.
Mom, are you okay?
I was worried I'd upset her showing up like this.
Oh, thank God you did.
Holly, are you okay?
You want me to help you move her?
No. She's okay. I got her.
I was wondering when the hell you were going to show up.
Well, I got on the plane a half an hour after I got the message from Ross, but I'm sorry. I want to thank you for talking Holly down. I heard from Ross that she'd had a close call.
Well, haven't we all? Her color's coming back. Well, let's get her some water. Oh, I'll get some.
Okay.
Right here. Do we need a doctor?
No, that's all right. I've got her.
Come on, why don't we get her up in the
I'm
chair?
seeing you.
How do you feel?
I don't feel...
Here, why don't we get you up? Get you sitting in the chair. Will you help? Come on.
Over here.
Fletcher, this is my Uncle Ken.
Holly's brother, yeah. Ross told me you came back.
Yes, I've been taking care of her while you were away.
Thank you.
Mom, say something.
Is this real? Is this really happening?
Yes.
He's really here?
This time he is.
Yeah, Holly, I'm here now. And I'm not going to let you go through this alone.
I can't believe it. Where's Meg?
Your Honor, I'm Assistant District Attorney Davis, and considering this, reunion, perhaps we should postpone the hearing.
Mr. Marler?
I am ready, Your Honor, if you are, Miss Davis.
No objections here?
Are you absolutely sure you can continue at this time?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
And Holly took my daughter without my knowledge, yeah, but I realized that Holly would never hurt Tammy. Because Holly truly cared about Tammy, just like she cared about the rest of the children that she took to the cabin. I mean, she thought she was giving them a better life.
She wanted to give them what she thought would be a better life. You know, things we failed to give them. I mean, she misguided, to be sure, but I think if there's the first person who would have forgiven her, who would have understood what had driven her to such a desperate place, would be my wife. Jenna understood about compassion and about second chances. She'd made a few wrong turns herself, and I don't even want to get into the mistakes I've made.
Your Honor, we all make mistakes. Look at me. I gave up a baby for adoption when I was pretty much still a baby myself, and in a moment of total desperation, I stole that child back from her parents. But I was very lucky. My little girl's parents were wonderful people, and they forgave me. And I think this court should offer Holly that same consideration, because when a woman has suffered the loss of a child...
I mean, any woman who's lost a child knows exactly what Holly's been going through. I mean, for over 5 years, I was without my own children. I mean, it was longer than 5 years, and they're 5 years that I can never get back, and it was like part of my soul had been ripped away, and it made me desperate, as desperate as Holly, maybe even more so. I didn't act on my pain in the same way Holly did, but you know, when it's all said and done, we're all on common ground.
Mom, I know you feel that you've failed as a mother, and that I have grown up to be exactly like you, and that I'm doomed to make the same mistakes you've made. And maybe I am. But Mom, I love you with all my heart. And when I was growing up, you were the only constant. And I know that you did the best that you could. So maybe I
I do have some of your weaknesses, but I also have your strengths. And I believe in the good in you. Your Honor, she is a good person, and please give her another chance. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. That is all. Will we be hearing from anyone else this evening, Mr. Marler?
No, Your Honor.
Why didn't anyone call me?
Mr. Warren, thank you for joining us this evening.
My pleasure, Your Honor. I'm sure you know that if Holly Reed not only kidnapped several children, she also stalked and terrorized several citizens in this room.
And your point, Mr. Warren?
Well, my point is, Your Honor, that I, too, was one of the victims, and I think it's only fair that you hear my story as well.
You can't do this, Ben. You're angry at me, and you cannot take it out on my mother.
Your Honor, I'd like to point out this witness was not called by the prosecution or the defense.
Normally, I would take it under consideration. But this is a pre-trial hearing, and I would like to hear from any victim who has a different perspective. After all, we're here for one reason, to determine exactly what your client should be charged with. Go ahead, Mr. Warren. We will hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I knew this would have happened.
What the hell is he doing?
He's angry at me. I threw him out.
Mr. Warren, you told us earlier that you were a victim of Holly Reed's. Perhaps you'd like to tell us what happened.
Oh, with pleasure, Your Honor. One night I came home to my apartment and found a bottle of brandy on my doorstep. I thought it was a gift, but it was laced with a poison that almost knocked me unconscious. I tried to revive myself in the shower, but I collapsed unconscious into the tub. And if it wasn't for a timely visit from my friend, Blake Marler, I wouldn't be here today. She saved my life. Later on, we found a note. It was exactly the same kind of note delivered to each and every victim. It was a nursery rhyme.
Is that all, Mr. Warren?
No. No, not quite, Your Honor. After all I've been through, I need you to know that, like Holly Reed, I know what it's like to have your life ripped away from you. I know what it's like to have people turn away and abandon you. All right? But I also know that if there is love, and I mean real love, real understanding, there is always the chance that those people will come back before you can lose hope. Now, just because somebody acts badly or even dangerously doesn't mean they're going to do it again. And so I'm here to sincerely hope that you will offer this opportunity to Mrs. Reed. Because, Your Honor, isn't that why we come to the courts? Isn't that why we come to the law, to seek counsel, to seek fairness? And above all, a second chance. Everybody deserves that.
The state is moved by the fact that all of you have come forward on behalf of Mrs. Reed today. But unfortunately, the sympathy expressed in this room has come well after the fact. This is about criminal behavior, stalking, terrorizing, and the kidnapping of 9 innocent children. And the fact that Mrs. Reed is repentant is hardly a surprise. Most guilty defendants are. I only have a few salient points to make. First, Mrs. Spaulding, how did it feel when you received the poisoned gift basket? Must have been terrifying, wasn't it?
Yes, it certainly was. But the point I tried to make before is that there wasn't enough poison in the apple.
Mrs. Lane, I can't imagine that reading your own obituary was amusing, and then to have your daughter snatched away from you, kidnapped and taken into a cabin in the woods.
I told you. I knew that Holly wouldn't hurt her.
And you, Mr. Cooper, you suffered the loss of your wife, the mother of your children. Isn't it true that if Mrs. Reed had come forward sooner to turn herself in, that Jenna might still be alive today? And you, Miss Shane, your son was taken, along with your niece. Your sister was pregnant when she was terrorized. Imagine that this woman wasn't a friend, but a stranger with an equally troubled history. Would you still be begging for leniency? I mean, the fact that all of you considered Holly Reed a friend only makes her crimes that much more diabolical. You trusted her. You thought that she was somebody you could count on, and yet she victimized each and every one of you. Mr. Warren, you gave a lovely speech about forgiveness, but you openly confessed to a friendship with the defendant's daughter. And it goes without saying that Blake Marlowe would say anything on defense of her mother. But this isn't about love or friendship. This is about crimes, felonies. And this case should and must go to trial on at least 32 counts.
That is not true, Your Honor. Nobody here knows what's happened to Holly, and I'm the only person who can really tell you. Please, let me speak.
As I've said, this is an informal hearing, and I would like to hear anything that could pertain to this case, good, bad, or otherwise. Go ahead, Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Most of you here already know who I am. But for those of you who don't, I'm Fletcher Reed. I'm Holly's husband. But I am also the person who is responsible for Holly's loss of self, of sensibility. Whatever has happened here is a direct result of my actions. No marriage is perfect. Every couple has its dark times. That's no excuse for what I did to you. I deprived you. I deprived you of not only a marriage, but I deprived you of your very life. I deprived you of something that means more to you than anything. I know how much it meant to you to bring Meg into our world, and I took her away. I took Meg. Please, please, forgive me. I was just so determined to protect our little Magpie from living with the wrong kind of people that I just somehow I forgot how much you and Meg loved each other. I just forgot how much little Magpie needs her mommy. Your Honor, I know you don't know this, but what you see here in front of you now, Holly Reed, is the best and the brightest. She's a wonderful woman who, through just a single moment of turmoil, has lost her strength. She's a truly loving human being who, through a reckless act of my behavior, just lost her way. And I feel very strongly that will never happen again. In fact, I know it. I want to apologize. I want you and everybody here to know how sincerely sorry I am for all the things that all these good people here have endured because of me. And if there is a price to pay, I'm the one who should pay it. I really mean it, Your Honor. If you're going to send someone to prison, send me.